Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Canadian Football Central CFL content for the fans, by the fans. And we got another re-signing as Derrick Moncrief re-signs with the Calgary Stampeders. He was an American in the CFL. He's been in the league since 2017. He had played for Saskatchewan for 3 years, played with Edmonton for a year, back with Sask for a couple years after that, back to Edmonton. Was in Calgary this past year. And kind of had a bit of a career year in terms of his number of tackles, as he, or not quite actually, sorry, his 2019 season, he was a little bit better. But he had done relatively well this past year, got 67 defensive tackles, as well as 2 interceptions, one of them being a touchdown, so a pick six, and a forced fumble. So he had done very, very well. And so the Stampeders are going to be holding on to him. He signs a contract extension. If we're looking at 3 down, it doesn't specify exactly how long. So most likely
1 year.
Oh, it's 1 year. You know this?
1 year.
Okay, because I was
guy on from TSN posted earlier. It was 1 year.
Hey, okay. So yeah, signs a 1 year deal. He'll be sticking around in Calgary. But I think this is generally pretty good, because you're talking about a guy who he had played with. If we go back to his time in college. He had played 1 year in JUCO, Miss Gulf State, Miss Gulf Coast, not State. He then went to Auburn, but then went to Oklahoma State afterwards. Not the best team. They had a pretty rough year. They went like 1-11 in his last year he was there. Played with the Cowboys. They're in the Big 12 conference. But despite that, he had gotten a little bit of starting time, but not a whole lot. However, it's interesting because with that, despite not having like a huge amount of opportunity, he was able to get to the CFL and play with Saskatchewan for quite a few number of years. After the 2019 year, he actually goes up to the NFL and was signed in 2020 with the LA Rams. He played 1 game, didn't start it, and he didn't end up getting any actual field time, but he was actually dressed for a game, so not just practice roster. And he actually had 2 stints with the Rams, one in 2020. Then he went to Edmonton for a bit, and then it went up to the Rams again in 2021, but didn't even get dressed. So just practice roster, that sort of thing. Then was back in the CFL for a bit. So we're talking about a guy who's kind of bounced around for quite a while, but he's back in the CFL, has been for a few years now, and he'll be sticking around in Calgary. So this will be kind of his first time in a little bit actually staying on a team that he was with. But it makes sense. Like, if you look at his numbers, he had played relatively well, and you got to imagine that a guy kind of wants to just get a little bit of stability. I mean, if you watched our we had a player interview with Darnell Sankey recently, so if you guys haven't checked that out, check it out. He was kind of talking about how kind of bouncing around a little bit can get really tiresome, really exhausting, and so kind of wanting to stick around somewhere and get a bit more time just makes sense, because even if we look at it, head coach and general manager Dave Dickinson had released a statement on it saying, we're excited to bring back another piece of the core of our team. Derrick is a great leader, and he plays the game the right way. So, and even if you look at Moncrief's kind of response to some of that, he said, what an awesome blessing it is to be re-signing with this world-class organization and also working alongside great people. I'm excited for year 2 and bringing a Grey Cup to Cowtown. Go Stamps. So seems that Moncrief is also pretty happy to be sticking around in Saskatchewan. But I think that this move generally works well. But what do you think about this, Rick?
So this is going to be interesting come camp, because you have 9 DBs on Calgary, that had double-digit tackles. And when I say double-digit tackles, I'm talking 30-plus tackles. And you don't just have 30-plus tackles.
So you think we're talking about, you think we're going to see some releases?
There's going to be some releases that players on the team that were on there last year. I still have to go through my sheet to double check that these players aren't free agents. But like someone was saying, I forget what team it was. Someone I seen on social media said that some team had 14 defensive linemen.
Oh my God!
It's like people like a lot of these people will be getting cut by end of training camp.
Yeah, no,
like they can only bring in so many bodies for a training camp.
Yeah. No, no one's going to be starting around with 14 defensive linemen.
But I know, I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, I think Moncrief.
He had played Sam linebacker, right? Because that's kind of the spot you'll sometimes see. That's the spot you'll sometimes see DBs hold. Is you'll sometimes see them go in at the strong side linebacker for certain coverages.
Yes, he was the starting Sam linebacker.
Yeah.
So you have Markel, Lee, Micah Tights, and Moncrief. Their whole starting linebacker group is back for next season.
Oh, there you go. It's not too bad because, again, I thought that Moncrief had performed very well. Like, even if I just think about the games that, because obviously I generally watch, I try to watch as much just kind of league-wide CFL, but I obviously follow my Bombers a little bit closer. I thought even just from the time that Winnipeg was playing, hey, it's called supporting my damn team. You shut up, Rick. You watch your Ticats a lot and you know it.
I watch the whole league, my friend.
Yes, this is true. I try to. I sometimes I just genuinely don't always have the time, but I try to. But I thought with Moncrief, based on the times, I felt he was a problem for Winnipeg to try to solve numerous times. So I think it's a good move generally. Only thing I would have done actually is I would have maybe tried to get him on a 2 or 3 year deal, but 1 year deal it is with Calgary. So anything else you got there, Rick? Or
no, sir.
All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Make sure you guys leave a like, share it around, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, if you guys haven't, make sure you guys join our Discord. Link in the description below to our Discord where we discuss all things CFL, NHL, all sorts of sports stuff. So make sure you guys go there and keep the conversation going. And before we get going, Rick?
Yes. So on February 10th, we're going to be doing a live stream for the Free Agent Frenzy.
On Hamilton Sports Central. Won't be here on Canadian Football Central.
No,
just want to make sure that's
it
clear.
Will be over on Hamilton Sports Central. We will be having a nice long 10, 11 hour live stream. We're going to have some guests coming along to talk CFL about their team that they support, signings across the league, rumors and everything that could be happening, and such fun jazz. And depending on who it is, you might even see me purchase a new jersey online. You never know.
Ooh. Now I'm excited.
Gotta get that new player jersey, depending on who we sign.
Fair enough. So
could use me a nice wide receiver jersey.
Fair enough. We'll see you guys next time.